All right, old school Texas Tech. We are going to recruit. We are going to preview. Not we need to recruit. We are doing a good job recruiting, we're going to preview the Cincinnati at Texas Tech game, 7 p.m. Saturday night at Jones Stadium in Lubbock, Texas. What do you think, Jordan?
I will say it's much more fun to do these previews when we're sitting at 3-1.
Yeah, as opposed to last year. Remember, was it?
Exactly.
That was
Yep.
rough.
Makes it a lot more fun. It
Yeah.
does. I hope Lubbock is a hostile place for Cincinnati. I
So I have
really
some
do.
numbers. I have some numbers for you. We have a 5-0 winning streak going right now at Jones, and Joey McGuire is now 13-3 at home.
Wow, that's pretty good. Pretty good. I would have not guessed it was that good.
Yeah, yeah. Trying to
Cool.
think. I know one of the losses was to Baylor. We lost to Baylor. We lost to who were the other two losses to?
I don't know. I'd say that's a good homework assignment to look up. I was gonna guess Oklahoma or Texas, but I don't think we've had
Oh,
them.
Oregon. Oregon.
Okay, Oregon, we the game that we had in the bag.
Yeah. And then there seemed like there was another one the first year, maybe. I'm trying to
So,
think who it was.
so basically the three losses have all been very
Oh,
close.
Kansas State. Kansas State.
Okay.
It was we lost to Baylor, Oregon, and Kansas State. Have been the only three home losses under Joe McGuire.
Well, and two of those were not all bad. So
Yeah, the Baylor loss was really embarrassing. That was bad. They kind of
I
came
read
out.
that was the one after. Oh, I remember the Baylor game. That was when we couldn't even get a first down, basically.
Yeah, he. I know he's under fire right now, but Aranda coached a great game that
I
day.
remember that now. Yep, I do. Baron Morton had a very much an off game.
Yeah. All
All right.
right. So what do you think? Cincinnati at Tech. It's a 7 o'clock kick. I think that's a big deal.
I do too. I like our chances very much. I think we're going to be sitting here a week from now talking about how we're 4-1 instead of 3-1. I do.
Okay. What's going to happen?
I think we are going to kind of. I think we're going to storm out early and score some points and maybe put a fair bit of distance between us and then win by a comfortable margin. I just don't think Cincinnati's that good, but then I'd be lying if I said I've watched all their games.
Right. So
Right.
what do you think? What do you think score wise?
Honestly, man, I'm feeling a 38-24 type score. I really am.
38-24.
I think that's probably a little bit nutty. It's probably a little bit it's a little aggressive, but I for some reason I feel like we are going to really play well. I really do.
I'm pretty sure the game's I'm pretty sure the game's a sellout. I'm pretty sure.
Even
Uh,
better.
and the fact, yeah, I think 13-3, we could start to get some of that, home environment that we had back onto the Pirate. I'm actually going to be a little bit more aggressive than you even. I'm going to go 38-17.
Wow. Okay. It's a
But
fair.
a lot of it's going to depend on the injury issues. We have a lot of questionable players, and if some of those guys can't go, Lux, I know in the secondary, they got a really good receiver. If he can't go, that's going to create some problems. They got a solid back, but I just look at who they played, and I'm not blown away. I mean, Houston's obviously rebuilding with a new coach. Um, their most impressive game was probably the 1 point loss to Pittsburgh was probably their most impressive game. Would you agree?
Yeah. That's their only loss, correct? Because they're 3-1 as well.
Right, right. I think the deal with Tech is we're a pretty good team. We have an very average offensive line, but when we have Taj, that's why the situation in Washington State got out of hand, is because they're a good team, and we without Taj, that offensive line is really average. But when you have Taj in there for pass protection, he turns an average off as far as in terms of the pass protection part of the game. He turns an average offensive line to a slightly above average offensive line. And so I think that's going to be a big deal. And he makes a big difference. If he were not playing Saturday night, it would be a much different situation. I like the two young running backs. I like both of them. I think they have a bright future, but he really makes a big difference. And so I think as long as he's good to go, it's gonna be a pretty fun night. I think Saturday night. I would be surprised if it's not a solid Tech win.
Agreed. You're right. He's not the fastest guy, but he sure does know how to pick the holes and patiently follow his blockers, doesn't he?
Yeah, he makes a huge difference. Even Kelly's questionable, but we could get a chance to see him a little bit of Micah Hudson. Some of those other guys have played really well too. I mean Kelly. If Kelly can't go, I think he'll play. But if he can't go, that'll hurt. That'll definitely. I think it would be a closer game if he can't go. And if Lux can't go, that could then you could start to get to a scenario where it's like a really competitive game. If both of those guys are out, it could be a problem.
Yeah, I think Kelly's a legit talent, man. He's really been pretty
Really,
impressive.
yeah, he's really good. He's really good. Yeah, they actually compared his numbers to all the receivers who transferred out last year, and he's actually got better numbers compared to all of the other receivers combined.
Wow. That,
Yeah.
that's great, man.
Yeah. All right, so we'll see you next week. Anything else you want to add?
No, but I'm pretty sure we're gonna be sitting here 4-1. And the sky was falling for me personally, and I'm probably getting ahead of myself, but we barely escaped Abilene Christian, then lost to Washington State. I was not feeling too good. So if we can finish this game up and be sitting 4-1 through 5 games, it's amazing how your fortunes can turn.
Yeah, and we'll look back at that UNT game, and the way we dominate that game. That'll kind of to me that'll kind of be the turning point. Arizona State's a decent team, I think.
Yep.
Uh, I think Cincinnati's a decent team too.
Yeah, they're better than I thought because I think I picked against them every week of the season to lose. I think I have. I think I picked them to be like 0-3 or 0-4 to start out.
Yeah, they're good, but their level of competition is going to go up, and I think we're going to learn a lot more about Tech in the next few weeks too. We've got a bye week coming up, but we're gonna learn a lot more about the team. But yeah, if a win Saturday night, like a solid win, I'm gonna start feeling pretty good about the season. But yeah, I do agree with a lot of the people, the voices out there saying let's just take it 1 week at a time. The offensive line is definitely a weakness, and it's never good when when your offensive line is a weakness. So I think you just got to take it 1 week at a time and go from there. But a solid win Saturday night would be really good.
Is that coming from a former offensive lineman like yourself, right? You know that lineman's that's a very vital cog in the whole team. Very true.
Yeah,
Agree.
yeah. If we just cut out some of the penalties alone, it would make a huge difference. All those refs last week they were horrible on both sides. I think both sides they were horrible, and I think we failed to adjust to their calls quick enough. That could make a difference. But I think the coaching staff's going to work on that. And so I'm really glad this is games in Lubbock, and I'm really glad it's a night game. I think both those things are really going to play in our favor. If this was like an 11 a.m. kick, it would be a little bit different deal. If this game was up there, it'd be a different deal too, for sure.
Totally agree.
All
4-1.
right.
Here it comes.
All right, 4-1. Let's hope for the best. We'll see you next week.